Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So as we all know, Sean P. Diddy Combs, his house has been raided by Homeland Security of all people, because they're doing an investigation of some kind of trafficking. Now, I've heard stories here and there recently about him being sued by a guy. Didn't really pay much attention to it because I'm not really a P. Diddy fan like that. But when this raid happened and it's like thrust into national news on all news outlets, then it kind of piqued my interest. So I, looked into it a little further and I'm like, man, this guy is a freaking deviant. And it's one thing if maybe one or two people may accuse you of something, but when you've been accused and stories have been out for at least nearly 30 years, it's got to be something behind it. But anyway, let's get into this article because it's something that I want to touch on that I think a lot of these young, almost rappers, that's all I can think of right now, y'all need to really be paying attention to what y'all be doing, who y'all be doing it with. And it's probably not the angle that you think that I'm going to touch on. But let's just look at the story. This is from foxnews.com and it reads, Sean Diddy Combs' accuser adds Cuba Gooding Jr. to the assault lawsuit. Homeland Security raided Sean Diddy Combs' home in connection to a federal human trafficking investigation. A U.S. official confirmed to Fox News Digital. I want y'all to keep this in mind. Remember, human trafficking, because that's going to be the whole basis of this video right now. A music producer who sued Sean Diddy Combs for assault, the S assault, in February, added actor Cuba Gooding Jr. to his complaint Monday. Rodney Jones, known professionally as Little Rod, accused Gooding of harassing, the S word, harassing and assaulting him in the new version of the suit obtained by Fox News Digital. The surgical producer claimed Gooding began touching, groping, and fondling him during a party on a yacht rented by Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands in January 2023. Quote, according to Mr. Jones, he was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. The court document stated he rejected his advances and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. Now, we know Hollywood is deviant, full of deviants, man. More and more stories are coming out of how it's just something not right in Hollywood. And what you got a documentary just came out on Netflix, I believe, about like old Nickelodeon channel, and how all these kids were abused, physically, emotionally by these producers, and and nothing was done about it. And now people are coming out and speaking about it. But it kind of, that story there is like that's a whole different story, because on that story you got to speak to the parents, and that's one thing that is always missed in this is you have parents who they want their kids to become famous and they don't really pay attention to what's going on. They want to see their kids be successful in the movies and music, make a lot of money. They think their kids gonna get them out of a certain situation, and so they turn a blind eye to what's going on. We saw the R. Kelly's many instances where these girls' parents, and we try to say it's the, first we thought we were saying things like single mothers leaving the girls with R. Kelly, knowing what's going on. I was like, okay, that's fine. But then you got one girl who had a mama and a daddy. And then you look at, like I said, the Nickelodeon thing, these are kids' parents. They have mama and a daddy. So it's not just, you just can't, it's not just a single mother issue. It's just a parenting issue who people who don't pay attention to what's going on. I remember, like I said, one of my daughters, they played softball and I was taking the pitching lessons. And I was always there. I was either in the building or I was sitting in the car, whatever the case may be, but I was always there. And I think after a while, my daughter, she was doing real good, learning real good, becoming a real good pitcher. And one day she was like saying that she didn't feel comfortable around the guy. And I'm like, I guess I can kind of question a little bit. And so I think the next practice I went with her, this at the third, and she still was like saying she didn't feel comfortable with him. So I'm like, all right, then I'm just going to, I'll find you another pitching coach. And it's just that simple. Like I say, and the guy, he was teaching her good techniques, the kind of technique to where she could pitch all weekend and not get injured. May get tired or fatigued, but not she wouldn't hurt herself. Great style. If it's done correctly, couldn't nobody hit off of it. You're either gonna hit it a ground ball, or it's gonna be a pop-up if the ball is thrown correctly. But I had to get out of that. It's just, as a parent, that's just what you do. But anyway, that's a different story. Let's get back on grown folk. It said, as the owner of the property, Mr. Combs has a duty to protect Mr. Jones from the harm he suffered at the hands of Cuba Gooding Jr. The lawsuit read. I thought he rented it. Anyway, Mr. Combs breached his duty when he failed to stop Cuba Gooding Jr. from assaulting Mr. Jones. Neither representatives for Jones nor Gooding responded to Fox News Digital immediate request for comment. It says Gooding has been accused. It talks about his past. I really want to get in what he was doing. It says in the original lawsuit filed against Combs in February and obtained by Fox News Digital, Jones accused the rapper of assaulting him and forcing him to perform acts with prostitutes. Jones worked as a producer with Combs on his latest album. Now, keep that in mind too. Prostitutes. Jones worked as a producer with Combs on his latest album, the Love album, Off the Grid. The music producer claimed he lived with the I'll Be Missing You singer for extended periods of time and accused Combs of unsolicited groping and touching. And you can add the S word anywhere in these sentences that I'm speaking on, because that's what I'm leaving out. Combs' legal team slammed Jones' accusations as complete lies. Quote, Little Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. Didn't they kind of say the same thing about Cassie? But then when she got ready to come out with the receipts, they settled that lawsuit like in 10 minutes. If I were him, I don't think I would repeat that until I just wouldn't repeat that. Just let the cards fall as they may. Fight for your name and let that be the reason. He said his reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. Combs' attorney Sean Holly previously told Fox News Digital. So they got evidence to show these lies. They say they tried to show this evidence to Mr. Jones' attorney, but it has been ignored. And his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, has refused to return calls. So they'll address this in court. Combs' Los Angeles home was raided Monday by Homeland Security officials. Fox News Digital confirmed. Agents were also seen at his home in Miami. A U.S. official confirmed to Fox News that the raid on Combs' homes are connected to a federal human trafficking investigation. It's unclear if the rapper is a target of the investigation. Quote, earlier today, Homeland Security, HSI New York, executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with the assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. Homeland Security investigation said in a statement Monday, we will provide further information as it becomes available. Representatives for Combs did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Now, here's the thing. Years ago, about 114 years ago, to be almost exact, there was this law created called the Mann Act. And basically it was created to stop or prosecute people who took prostitutes across state lines for immoral purposes. And, immoral intercourse, most likely intercourse acts. A lot of people think that it was created for Jack Johnson, but I mean, in reality, he was not the first person that was prosecuted for that law. They just used it to get him because of, well, because of people say that he was, in relationships with white women, but in reality, in reality, but he also was known as, he abused women, he beat women, but he liked his share of prostitutes, this, that, and the third. So they got him, being black, being a champion, beating up on white people, men beating up on white women, and then, sleeping with and marrying white women all out in front of white folk face back in the early 1900s. That was a no-no. So you just allowed them, because we know you can say that they always trying to, go out and get a brother. I was out to get a brother, which is probably true. But what you shouldn't do is give them a reason to come after you. You can't thumb your nose up to them folk when they running things. It just doesn't work that way. But anyway, so the Mann Act still in law. It has been amended over the years. This, that, and the third. But there's still laws in the book for trafficking. People get arrested all the time. So why am I making that the focal point of this conversation? Because you see P. Diddy, he got his house raided because of those human trafficking allegations. It's a big thing now, especially with these migrants coming over. You've seen stories about human trafficking, story and arrests and prosecutions and investigations going on with these migrants, stuff that's been going on for a long time, but now it's on the forefront because Biden's allowing these people to come over all willy-nilly, to be able to do what they want to. But what I want to say is, all these young rappers, I've seen too many stories on Instagram, on news outlets, entertainment news outlets, where they talk about, where there'll be a rapper and a Instagram model. And they'll fly these Instagram models out. Matter of fact, there'll be, prostitutes who done video interviews on YouTube and talk about how they have been flown out by famous people, athletes, entertainers for those acts. And then they, fly them back home. Then you have these Instagram models who will sit there and brag about being flown out, or they'll try to diss the rapper or the entertainer or the athlete, saying they flew them out, thinking that they're going to get some of this and they not getting some of that. So now they mad because I ain't giving it up. So they're going to leave me at the airport. They're going to drop me off on the side of the street, whatever. Laws like the Mann Act don't say that the act has to occur. It says that you have the intentions of doing something wrong. Trafficking, human trafficking, does not have the S word in it. In that, in that case, in those cases, it just say human trafficking, bringing people across, just moving people across state lines, county lines, whatever, international lines for immoral acts, which could include, acts like prostitutes, whatever. So that's my thing is, you have these young ladies who go on here and they'll put these videos out. You'll have these rappers that will talk about spending $10,000, $20,000, to fly Instagram model out. And we all know what it's for. Understand that these feds, these law enforcement officers, these people are watching your every move. You could get on these, and also understand about these youngsters. They love to talk. They talk too much. They tell all their business, and it makes not a bit of sense as to why. Because everybody want to be They want likes. They want to be seen as the man or as the woman, as the chick that every dude, every rapper wants. He's flying me out, paying me this amount of money to fly me out. And like I said, we know what they flying you out for. You know what they flying you out for. You might try to play crazy sometime. Then some of them fly them out, doing bad, and then kick them to the curb, paying their money, but they feel embarrassed. So then they want to put it out there. Like, this dude is no good, blah, blah, blah. But that's the problem. Number one, the act, just doing that makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't care if you're famous, you're rich, and you ain't got to be famous or rich. You be just an average dude. There are women out there who are willing to do things with you or for you for not a dime. But you want to sit there and fly, and they try to be like these old gangsters, how they think these mafia guys or these rich guys do, you know what I'm saying, how they think they do. Like, they'll get the girls off of Backpage or Craigslist or whatever and bring to the hotel, do whatever, and they leave, and that's it. But the key is those people are inconspicuous. They don't tell their business. How they get caught is a madam or somebody has a book, and the madam gets caught because they've been investigated for years. And they get caught, and then they turn all the evidence over to reduce their sentence. Y'all youngsters got to realize that same thing can happen to you. P. Diddy is a guy that's got a lot of power, a lot of pull all over the country, maybe if not the world. And Homeland Security is investigating. Will they find something? I don't know. Could it all be false? It's quite possible. He probably, covered his tracks real well. People can talk, but if you can't prove it, it don't matter. But when you're out here bragging about, like I say, flying these females out, or these females bragging about getting flown out, y'all need to realize that y'all are engaging in human trafficking. And it doesn't matter if she consent to it or not. There are many street walkers out here who get arrested all the time for doing acts that they consent to, albeit for monetary purposes or gain, but technically they consent to it. What y'all youngsters do is no different. Y'all doing no different. See, this is why young folk need to listen to older, wiser people. You need mentors. You got to have them. Because if not, you're bound to make big mistakes that can get you in a world of trouble, can end your career, end your freedom, could end your life by thinking you're doing something like you got a little money, so you think you got a little power and you can do anything you want to. And you may get, away with it for years, like old Sean did. Again, I don't know if he's guilty or not, but if he's not, like I say, there's a lot of stories been out there for the past 30-something years about this dude. So like, where there's smoke, there's fire, is the old saying. So again, you may get away with it for years, but one day they're gonna come back and get you. R. Kelly, same thing. They wanted to get R. Kelly since back in the early 2000s with the tapes where he had with the underage girl. Everybody knew she was underage, but she wouldn't testify. Family wouldn't testify. I think they said they paid him off, flew him out the country on vacation during the trial. Never heard from the girl again publicly. Don't know where she at. Don't know what she looked like. Don't know who she is. She may come out one day, but who knows? But they try to get him ever since then. So then they finally, got him. Because they actually had him, but because they went on the boat, saw these tapes, but didn't have a warrant to get them. They couldn't use the evidence, so they had to let him go. So they were still bound to get him. But he probably thought that, they can't touch me because I'm R. Kelly. And they probably couldn't because he was making them folk a lot of money. When they say 30% of the songs playing on the radio were he was involved with, yeah, he was making people a lot of money. But once that money slowed down, they done with him, y'all come get him. Same thing with P. Diddy. he tried to sue the Ciroc people. He and that's probably was his downfall. He tried to do too much. He ain't making the music like he used to. He ain't making that music money, entertainment money like he used to. He's venturing off to other things. And so he ain't making them hits. They probably don't care no more. You can go and get him. Let's make an example out of him. Let's see who's next. But with that being said, I mean, don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse in the mouth and continue to repeat myself. But y'all youngsters, y'all fellas, you rappers, you quote unquote Instagram models, y'all need to, first of all, you need to stop doing what you're doing. But secondly, y'all gotta keep y'all business out them streets like that. Because once you say something that can be perceived as you committing an illegal act, they own you now. And they got the evidence because you broadcasted it live on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, whatever you feel. It's there. So now all they got to do is investigate you. And all it takes is for one of these females to start crying and saying that you did this and did that to her, and she got the evidence, and she can have the evidence, the money, the plane tickets that you flew out for immoral stuff and the text messages, and then it's over. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's dialogue. Let's have an intelligent conversation. Hey, if you want to support the channel, 4 ways non-monetarily you can do it. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you do want to support the channel monetarily, you can go to the description box. There are links there to where you can help support the channel, boost the channel and the algorithm, with likes and shares. We get more views, more subscribers, help improve the channel, help me to bring y'all stories, better stories. If you got stories that you want me to hit up or, look at, or if you got anything you want to talk about, you can hit me up at soulinthesoil@gmail.com. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.